Hello again. This video will be fantastic because it's the first video I ever used a script, so it only can be fantastic. My plan is to give you an overview how to build tube frame chassis for RC cars. So let's start with this video and work through my list. Zack, intro. Many requests where I bought this chassis from, or a couple of my viewers constantly sent me email requests if I'm going to build a chassis for them. But I think it's so much fun and a great opportunity for you to use this as a chance and just start and build something on your own, and it's not that hard. And so if we are using this 1:5 scale sprint car as an example, I simply started searching for drawings in the internet, through the internet. So I just put most of my stuff in the trash. So I started searching for pictures, drawings, and even found a manufacturer who's normally building those cars in real scale. So I found, for example, this drawing, which is for me as a German very complicated because everything is in inches and not in metric. But as you can see, I converted everything to millimeters and made some kind of scale. And for this car, I decided to start with a 10 millimeter tube. And I think in most of my builds I always kept using stainless steel piping because it's just nicer. If later during driving you get some damage in the paint or whatever, it's not going to rust. As for the cutting, obviously you have multiple choice there. You can use the standard angle grinder, or as we in Germany say, Flex, even though it's normally a brand name. I think it's sold worldwide under the name Flex, or a Winkelschleifer. I got the request to teach you some German, so here we go. I will ask for this next time. So this is Winkelschleifer. You can obviously cut and grind spots, but it's very loud and you create a lot of dust. You can use this kind of tube cutter. This is a really small version. As you see, I think it's about the smallest version you can find. And even for showing, I think most of you saw this before. It's just working like this. So you pull this tight, you just turn it around a couple of times, and the advantage, if you ask me, for this method, it's dust free, it's very quiet, and you can do this in your living room at midnight without having your wife freak out. So no problem. Here we go. So next thing is tube bending. Of course you need to bend the piping in several places. So the big solution is a normal pipe bender, hydraulic pipe bender, like this. This is obviously self-made and using a hydraulic car jack. They are more like pulled through the bending dies, like this one. This is one of the dies I used for the monster truck. So the tube stays with the same cross-sectional area all the time. And since this is a solution, by the way, they are of course much bigger benders like this, much more professional like this, but this worked in the past even for some big race car projects we've done. And for smaller pipes, like for this car, I like this tool very much. So this is available in different sizing. this is specially made for 10 millimeter outside diameter piping, and this is the same principle the big machine uses, and this is also, can insert this here, secured with this lever, and I think we need a close-up. Okay, and as you see, it's secured with this lever, and those dies are keeping the pipe perfectly inside and keep them from, I'm still thinking about the right word, I'm just showing it here, and you see I need a little bit of force, of course. Oh, that sounds nice. So, and for example, we are going to a 90 degree. Just reopen this, and as you can see, it's really nice, perfect. And wherever I need this, yeah, this is perfect. And this is just a matter of tooling. So you can, of course, try to improvise and use cheaper tools. But if you ask me, this is the way to go. This was like 140 euros, I think. And I bought it especially for this project. But I know if I would have gone with the cheaper solution, I would regret this every time, every single day. So using the correct tooling like this one, maybe, seems to be expensive at the beginning. But when you start using it, it's really worth it. So, I'm not sponsored in any kind by, but if you're interested, I can link, for example, tools and manufacturers for these kind of tools in the description. So just check the description, and hopefully I think you will find them worldwide. Next topic is tube notching. So what does it mean? If you want to connect, so we need a close-up again. And if you notice, we are having a camera man this time, and maybe for the future as well. So please say hello to Martin, who is a very old friend of mine. He's going to help us in the future. And so we are talking about tube notching. What does it mean? If you want to connect those two pipes together, obviously, if you just make a straight cut and you want to connect, you're just leaving big gaps on the top and on the bottom. So what you need is, you need to grind this to the exact shape and diameter of the pipe you want to connect it to. This should be correct. So there are a couple of possibilities. In huge scale, it's done with a tube notcher. This is a very cheap one. So what you do here is you just connect it to an old drill, and which drives this shaft, and you use those hole saws. I'm not sure if this is the correct. No, it's not the correct thing, but there's an adapter, so you can use this one and just use a diameter of the piping. Use this on this end. You can even adjust the angle, how the two tubes are meeting each other, and then you just cut the end and it will be perfect. So I would recommend to always go a couple of millimeters or thousands of inches, I have no idea, bigger with this hole saw than in reality, because there will always be some tolerances. That's the word I'm searching for, tolerances. And if you look closely, just let me search for an ugly area. This is not planned. I was hoping for a very ugly area. I cannot find one. No, maybe this one. But this is really important, because if later on, if you're having 1 or 2 degrees difference, if you, for example, want to connect to a 10 millimeter pipe and you made this cut for 12 millimeters, it's done on the top, right over here. And even though I made the cut for 12 millimeters, no one will ever notice, and after welding, it's going to be perfect. So, but how to do this on this small scale? obviously you need to build some smaller tools than this whole solution. I machined a 10mm hole inside here, so it really fits perfectly between those two pieces. And afterwards, you see this here, I just resurfaced this, took a couple of hundreds of millimeters off. So, and if you now put this in a vise and clamp it, it's going to be held perfectly. And why? We are going to switch to another machine. So this cutting for the small diameter was done on this normal drill and cutting machine. And let's see if it's powered. I think it is. It is. So we can make one example. So the angle adjustment on this machine obviously is done if you tilt this in the vise. So this is how you adjust the angle, and just give me 1 second. Okay, I used the small brake just to adjust the machine, insert the correct tooling, and I started with this 10mm, but as I said, I changed it to 12mm diameter because it's much easier later to weld. And for example, I'm using this angle meter, and I do have an electronic version. Okay, the electronic version is this one. Just takes a couple of seconds. It's very precise, and you can zero it whenever you want to. So this is a nice way to measure the needed angles, and hopefully this is going to work. I adjusted the correct RPM before starting to film. So this is stainless steel. You don't want to use a very high cutting speed for stainless steel. It simply doesn't like that. So just to give you an example how it's working. Of course you can grind this by hand also, so it doesn't mean you always need expensive machines. You're using some cutting foam, and again this is just to show you. So you see I'm cutting pretty slow, and that's already enough to get a nice connection. Don't want to cut my fingers. So this is the result. Of course you need some grinding now, but you see this is a perfect fit. And if you start to only spot weld like I've done on the other places, yeah, this is the perfect example where TIG welding is going to be a benefit. And I think I got hundreds of comments that I need to start TIG welding, and I would love to. But yeah, this is something for the future. Yeah. Okay, and final topic on my list is called brackets. And by the way, if you are still watching, please leave a comment. I am sure this video is getting pretty long, hopefully not too boring, and you're still with me here. The last topic is brackets. So obviously you need to attach various components to your chassis later on. So whether it's chassis bracing or the engine or a cooler or whatever, and after building so many brackets by hand, and this takes hours and hours and hours, I would strongly recommend to do this with laser cutted pieces. Simple looking parts like this are a huge time saver. So what I've done is I just draw them on the computer, made a CAD drawing, and let a company laser cut them. They are dirt cheap. Don't ask me. I think it will be different worldwide, but it's in the end it's only like 15 cents a piece or whatever. And you see the second design, and of course this is a huge time saver once you want to attach something to the frame like this. And perfect example are the shocks, which are not mounted yet. So these shocks will be easily connected using 2 of those brackets. Attach them to the pipe like this. And if you want to go one step further, you see that I even bought those pieces. Yeah, and these are the chassis brackets for the front and rear axle. So again, this is a huge and very long video. Hopefully you liked it. If you do, please leave a comment. I'm always trying to comment and respond to every viewer, so feel free to write whatever you want to. And please give me a thumbs up. This is helping the channel really quite a lot. And see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.